Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving deep into the quantum realm to uncover the secret origin of one of the Marvel Cinematic Universe's newest and most exciting heroines, Cassie Lang. You've seen her grow up on screen, from the adorable little girl in the first Ant-Man movie to the brilliant young woman in Quantumania. But how did she go from being Ant-Man's daughter to a full-fledged superhero in her own right? That's exactly what we're going to explore. Her journey is one of heart, legacy, and a whole lot of Pym Particles. So let's get ready to shrink down and trace the incredible evolution of Cassie Lang, also known as the Stinger. From her very first appearance, it was clear Cassie Lang was special. She wasn't just Scott Lang's motivation for becoming Ant-Man. She was his biggest supporter. Remember that scene where she calls her dad a hero, even when the world saw him as an ex-con? That belief in him, that unwavering admiration, was the foundation of her own heroic destiny. She grew up surrounded by giants of the hero world, literally and figuratively. Seeing her dad shrink and grow, save the day, and be part of the Avengers planted a seed. She didn't just want to be proud of her dad. She wanted to be just like him. This desire wasn't just a childhood dream. It was a calling that would shape her entire future. In the comics, Cassie's path to becoming a superhero is a bit different but equally compelling. Grieving the loss of her father, she actively sought out ways to gain powers. She secretly exposed herself to Pym Particles over the years, hoping they would activate latent abilities. Her emotional state became the trigger. Her powers of shrinking and growing were directly tied to her feelings. When she felt guilty or small, she would shrink. When she got angry, she would grow into a giant. This emotional connection to her powers made her one of the most relatable members of the Young Avengers, where she took on the codename Stature. It was a raw, powerful beginning that showed her determination and the immense weight she felt living up to her father's legacy. Now, let's talk about her big screen evolution in the MCU, which really takes off in Ant-Man and The Wasp: Quantumania. After the 5-year blip, we're reintroduced to a teenage Cassie who is not just a kid anymore. She's a brilliant scientist in her own right, incredibly curious and passionate about the quantum realm, just like Hank Pym and Janet Van Dyne. She spent those 5 years studying their work, experimenting, and building her own devices. This intellectual curiosity is a key part of her character. She didn't just stumble into her powers. She actively pursued the science behind them. She even built a quantum satellite, a device that could map and communicate with the quantum realm. This act, driven by a desire to explore and help, is what kickstarts the entire adventure of Quantumania. It's this very satellite that gives Cassie her first real taste of her powers. When the device malfunctions and pulls the entire ant family into the quantum realm, Cassie gets her first superhero suit. It's a purple suit, a clear nod to her comic book origins as Stature and later, Stinger. And just like her dad, she can shrink and grow at will. But there's a key difference. Cassie seems to have a more natural, intuitive control over her abilities from the get-go. While Scott often fumbled and struggled initially, Cassie adapts remarkably quickly. She's a natural. She can shrink down to dodge attacks and then instantly grow into a giant to take on Kang's forces. This isn't just about inheriting powers. It's about her innate aptitude and the years she spent studying the science behind them. One of the most powerful aspects of Cassie's journey is her relationship with her father, Scott. In Quantumania, we see a shift in their dynamic. Scott, haunted by the time he lost with her during the blip, has become overprotective. He wants to keep her safe, away from the dangers of the hero life, but Cassie has other ideas. She's seen the injustices in the world and wants to fight back. She has the classic "with great power comes great responsibility" mindset, even before she officially gets her powers. This creates a really interesting conflict between them. It's the classic tale of a parent wanting to protect their child, and a child wanting to step out and forge their own path. Her time in the quantum realm is a true trial by fire. She gets separated from Scott and Hope and has to survive on her own. It's here that she truly proves her mettle. She doesn't just wait to be rescued. She becomes a leader. She joins forces with the freedom fighters of the quantum realm, inspiring them to rise up against Kang the Conqueror. She gives speeches, rallies the troops, and fights on the front lines. Her most iconic moment is when she grows into her giant form for the first time in a major battle, turning the tide against Kang's army. It's a spectacular display of power, but more importantly, it's a display of her courage and leadership. She proves she's not just Ant-Man's sidekick. She's a hero who can inspire hope in others. So, what are her powers exactly? Like Ant-Man and the Wasp, Cassie Lang can manipulate her size thanks to Pym Particles integrated into her suit. She can shrink to microscopic, even subatomic levels, allowing for stealth and infiltration. But her real showstopper is the ability to grow. She can become a giant, granting her immense strength and durability. In this giant form, she's a powerhouse, capable of taking on entire armies. Her fighting style is a blend of her father's scrappy techniques and her own youthful energy. She's agile, resourceful, and incredibly brave, using her powers in creative ways to protect others. She essentially has all the abilities of Ant-Man but with a fresh perspective, and a fierce determination to make a difference. Her superhero name has a bit of an interesting history. In the comics, she starts as Stature with the Young Avengers. Later, she adopts the name Stinger, equipped with a helmet that allows her to communicate with insects and biosynthetic wings for flight, much like the Wasp. The MCU seems to be blending these ideas, while she doesn't have an official name in Quantumania. Scott affectionately calls her Peanut, but it's clear she's on her way to claiming a proper heroic mantle. The purple suit and her skill set strongly hint at Stinger, suggesting she'll be a combination of both her father's abilities and the legacy of the Wasp. It positions her perfectly as the next generation of the Ant family legacy. Looking ahead, Cassie Lang's future in the MCU is incredibly bright. She is a foundational member of the next generation of heroes. With the potential for a Young Avengers project on the horizon, Cassie is perfectly positioned to be a core member, if not the leader. She has the scientific intellect of a Stark or a Pym, the heart and courage of a Rogers, and the powers of Ant-Man. Her journey has been about finding her own place in the world, stepping out of her father's shadow not by leaving him behind, but by standing tall right beside him. She represents the new wave of heroes who grew up in a world where superheroes are a reality, and she's ready to take on the responsibility that comes with it. From the little girl who owned a terrifyingly ugly stuffed doll to the giant-sized hero who stood up to Kang the Conqueror, Cassie Lang's transformation has been one of the most well-developed and satisfying character arcs in recent MCU history. She embodies the themes of family, legacy, and the courage to fight for what's right, no matter how small you feel. She has proven that being a hero isn't just about having powers. It's about having the heart to use them. What do you guys think about Cassie's evolution? Are you excited to see her as Stature or Stinger in a future Young Avengers team-up? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more deep dives into your favorite characters. See you next time.